we've all had those moments, the ones that make you cringe and laugh and want to be swallowed by a giant hole in the ground. For me, it includes any moment that I bring out gun fingers. Um, So yes, and we've actually just had one of those moments, but we're going to get to that in this episode. To kind of end off the year, we're going to be sharing our freelancing mishaps, a couple of podcast blunders, the unexpected lessons they taught us, because we can't resist not turning it into a learning moment. So get ready to laugh with and probably at us as we celebrate our very messy, imperfect journey this year. So yeah, I don't know if you want to kick us off. You see, podcasting blunders. I can't even. What's your name again?
Something like that.
Yeah, something. So yeah, I don't know. Do you want to kick us off with some freelancing disasters that you might have had this year, and we can go into the podcast because there's quite a lot of podcast mishaps. But let's start with the freelancing stuff.
Yeah, so I mean, yeah, where does one start really? But I think for me, coming back from maternity leave, my brain was dead, and I didn't expect it to be so dumbed down, but it was so dumb. I just felt so stupid every day, and I would just do the stupidest things. So I was emailing a client, and the classic happens to all of us. Favorite trick: please see attached. There's no attachment. Cool. I forgot to attach on the same email thread 3 times. And my client was so sweet about it. Shame. She was like, Jay, I'm really, really sorry, but I think you forgot to attach it again. And I just said, I'm sorry. I'm brain dead. I have no, there's no comeback from that. I'm sorry. So yeah, I mean, once, yes, fine. But to go on the same email thread 3 times, it was quite frankly quite embarrassing. I mean, it's not exactly rocket science to hit the attach button.
But mom brain is a thing, isn't it?
No, it's a real thing.
Is mom brain a
yeah,
thing?
Please ask. I think it's just maybe the lack of. There's probably a lot of factors.
Yes,
sleep being
mom
one
brain,
of them.
sometimes called baby brain, is a real phenomenon that many parents, especially mothers, experience. I suppose.
I wonder
50,
why,
50.
especially mothers. Yeah, how strange.
Gosh, biological factors and psychological factors are involved. So there you go.
There we go. Okay, cool. At least I have an excuse. But before baby brain, I've also, and I'm sure you've probably done something similar, sent a quote to the wrong person. And in this case, it was particularly awkward because I was subcontracting for someone else, and I sent the quote to the client, not the contractor. So they were able to see what I was charging and I guess what she was charging on top of that. A little bit orcs. Also, she was very gracious about it. But yeah, I felt really bad. And I actually haven't had work from that client. Not the subcontractee, but the actual client for a while. So I don't know if they were like, there's a bit of fat that we need to trim here. And yeah, I haven't heard from them for a while.
Yeah, I was actually going to ask if that ended up coming through as a confirmed job, because history dictates that probably won't. Yeah, that's a good episode, maybe, like how to fix damaged client relationships.
Yes, and sometimes there's actually no going back, and you just have to walk away. And I think,
look, I mean, maybe it was like one of those Freudian slip situations. Like, you don't really want the business, so you self-sabotage.
No, I kind of did though. It was. I thought it was quite good money, so that's why I'd hate to know what she was charging, because she literally wasn't doing anything, just passing on my work to them. So, anyways, and then something else that comes to mind is, and I mean, we've all had these as well, is. This isn't freelancing specific. I mean, my mind goes back to pre-COVID days where there was the guy whose kids walked in on that video call that he was having for a CNN or whatever it was. Do you remember that? It was hilarious. Yeah. I rewatched it again recently. It never gets old. Anyways, the world is a bit kinder post-COVID, but I was on a call with a very corporate, as we say in South Africa, quite parat, down the line, wearing our collared shirts kind of client. And speaking of shirts, my husband walked by with no shirt on, which was When you kind of
Amazing.
like, do you just pretend it didn't happen? Or do you say something, I pretended it didn't happen, as we all did on the call. So, yeah, I didn't make them pay for it. He's
What
hot, but
happens in
not that
Vegas?
hot. Yeah.
Amazing.
So, I've also had a really embarrassing one where I thought my mic was muted and I needed to do like a really big proper, I had a bit of a cold and I needed to do a really big proper like snorty kind of sniff. So I pressed the button. What I didn't realize is that I was already on mute and I was pressing the button to unmute myself. And it was a big meeting, about 6 people. And I literally did one of those like, okay, I've got to clear my nose so I could talk. And it was like for about, 20 seconds. And then I pressed the button happily again, and I saw that I'd done it the wrong way around, which was also really embarrassing. So, I mean, I could go on forever, but I'm sure you have plenty of those moments to share too. So I think I'll leave my dignity somewhat intact.
Well, I don't make the best first impression. I tend to, you have to get to know me to get to know my vibe a little bit. And I think probably we could use this as an opportunity to kind of regale our origin story, because I came to your book launch, and okay, this was last year, it wasn't this year, but I came to your book launch and I said something probably along the lines of my standard opening line when I meet someone new is, "Oh, I've stalked you on LinkedIn. And would you like to be on my podcast?" And you were very gracious. You were like, "Yeah, okay." And made a swift exit. And then I did stalk you on LinkedIn, and well, here we are today. But yeah, I don't know. Could you give me feedback on my pickup lines? Like,
Very direct, honest, transparent, authentic. You just keep being you. But I would love you to please tell, since we're on the topic of introductions, I mean, you've told me a hilarious finger gun story that I
yes.
really think the podcast needs to hear.
So this was a couple of years ago. I was actually still working in the travel industry, and I went to an industry event, and I got chatting to somebody after doing the "I've stalked you online," which obviously I hadn't, because it would explain what happened next. The conversation kind of went around to this website that offers travel industry specials, and I said to this person, that website is so fucking dodgy. Like, it looks like a scam. And the person was like, "That's my website." And I was like, "You'll never forget me now." Swift exit
Insert
to
finger
left.
guns. Insert finger
Insert
guns for
finger
those
guns.
who didn't see.
And something similar happened this year, actually, because if you have been listening to the podcast for a while, you'll know that I went to the Netherlands just to meet an end client, and I haven't done like a work sales trip for a long time. So again, cross-cultural. I'm this like dumbass South African going in with finger guns all the time, and I think everyone understands what's
Finger
going on in my
guns
brain.
blazing.
It was a really good trip. There was a girl who was a girl, listen to me, like she's probably the same age as me. But there was a woman that was off sick while I was there. And the first time I ever met her was when I was back in South Africa and we were kicking off a project. And we got into this call, but now we're both like these awkward introverts. And everybody else was late joining the call. So now I feel the pressure to make small talk. So I said to her, "I'm really sorry I didn't get to meet you in person during my trip to the Netherlands. But when I was in the office, I saw your jacket. So we'll always have that." Finger guns. And about 3 minutes later, she's like, "Maybe let's just like put our cameras, mics off until the other people join the call." I was like, "I think that's a good idea." Finger guns. So yes, we get along really well now, but that was a very, very awkward start. So I don't make the best first impression. You have to stick around and wear the callus up a little bit to fully appreciate. So yes, those are kind of my client related fiascos. So yeah, that's probably a good segue to podcast blunders, because the early days of the podcast were very awkward. Because we were like, let's chat about random shit before we get going. And then we would have these really long, awkward goodbyes. And yeah, I don't know if anyone's actually listened to any of those, but I'll insert a couple of the awkward goodbyes here so that you can bask in the full glory.
Please, an awkward goodbyes montage. This is what we need to see. Please.
Yes, I will put together a montage. This has been fun. I really hope that we get to do it again.
Me too.
It's I wait with bated breath for the response from the audience.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Megan. Hopefully chat soon. Okay. Bye. Yeah.
Cool.
Awesome.
Thanks, Shay. Chat again.
Cheers.
Thanks again, Shay and Michelle. And until next time, keep it real. Keep it real, yo.
Awesome. Thank
Cool.
you.
Cheers.
Bye.
Thanks so much. Bye.
Thank you again for taking the time, and we'll catch up on the next one. Anyone who's listening, please comment, subscribe, get in contact with Shay and myself. We're both on LinkedIn. Shay is on everything. Join her Facebook group as well, and we'll chat next time.
Cool. Thanks, Meeks. Bye.
Cool. Cool. Thanks, Shay. See you next month.
Great. Thanks so much. Cheers.
Oh, we forgot to say the most important part of the podcast. If you enjoyed this, please share, like, subscribe wherever you're listening or watching. We'd love to have you in the audience. So now she talks.
Glad we've kept you this long.
Cool. Now goodbye for reals.
Goodbye for reals.
Cool. So
I can't remember if there were any finger guns, but we live in hope.
No, I don't think there were, but my family is really good at not being able to say goodbye. Like, you're literally leaving a family get together and you're driving down the road and you're still trying to have this weird, awkward conversation because no one wants to actually say goodbye. Unfortunately, yes, we've managed to get that under control a little bit.
Who, the family?
It's more my issue. No, the podcast. My family is still terrible. So yes, it shows just along for the ride with that. And I was like, let's get rid of the awkward goodbye. So it took you a while to get used to it though, because you had to bite your tongue.
I still do. So please excuse me if you ever hear, that's just me trying not to have an awkward goodbye.
Other podcast blunders, yeah, well, the one that happened between yesterday and today, your internet likes to die at the most inopportune moments. And so yesterday's recording was rescheduled for today. And at 11 o'clock rolls round and I message Shay, I'm like, I'm waiting. Where are you? And she's like, I'm coming. And then she's like, no, but it's only 11:30. It's only scheduled to record at 11:30. So, yeah.
And yesterday I had the time wrong first. Anyways, like, we've made it here against all odds. So this is proper showing up.
I think it's end of year. I mean, you can blame mom brain. I don't really have an excuse. I'm just going to say I'm tired because it's the end of the year. Q4 is a nightmare and it's a mess. So I'll just blame it on.
I think if we ask ChatGPT is end of year fatigue a thing, I think we'll get a positive response. So
and obviously the teaching moment or the learning moment, what we've learned from like failing this year. I mean, not necessarily. I have learned that I'm terrible at first impressions. So I am actually really lucky to have any clients at all. So that's what I have learned. But yeah, have you made any kind of real blunders this year that you've been able to look back and laugh at?
So that is part of the lesson to me, is being able to look back and laugh. And even in the moment to realize, okay, I asked myself, is this going to matter in 5 years? And I don't think I've had any issues this year where the answer is actually yes. So that's part of the learning for me, is just contextualizing it, and it's actually going to be okay. No one's going to die. Everyone's fine. So bigger picture thinking, that is totally a lesson that I kind of take from failing. And then also just being honest, being transparent, handling them with grace, and admitting when you've stuffed up. So I think this couldn't have been last year. This must have been last year, where when ChatGPT first came out, I was like, ooh, cool, exciting. And, it was all new, and I had a brief, and I thought, let me check this into ChatGPT. And it came out with a passable result, and I thought, oh, great. Sent it on to the client, and they're like, did you write this with AI? And what could I say? I did, 100%. And so I just had to fess up and say, yes, I did. And she was also, again, really gracious and said, I really prefer your own writing. And I said, thank you for that feedback. And we're still clients. She's still my client.
Yeah.
I think, had
Amazing.
I perhaps backtracked and said, oh, no, I would never do that. Or, then the relationship is soured. So I think just fessing up and, we're all human and we all like to try new shiny toys. And now we all know what ChatGPT sounds like. So
Yeah.
yeah. And how about some of your
insert
lessons?
link here.
Gosh.
Yeah, so my biggest lesson has been stay on brand. Clearly, finger guns is my brand. So when you make a mistake, just lean in. That's lean into the mistake, and usually it ends in a laugh. Luckily, I've had the same clients for a while now, and so they've built up the Megan callus, and they're used to me being an idiot all the time and like saying the wrong thing at the inopportune time. But they've come to expect that now. But when you do make a mistake, just kind of lean in. If it's something that is, all mistakes can to a degree be reversed. So if it's something that can be reversed, it's really not going to end your business. And like you say, lean in, just kind of accept that you've made a mistake, apologize for that, and move on, and use your finger guns or whatever's on
Liberally,
brand
if that's
for you.
your brand, exactly.
That's kind of it for this episode, I think. I think that's enough embarrassment for now. We'll do one of these again next year, depending on how well this one performs. And if you enjoyed, don't forget to subscribe while you're here, and we'll see you in the next episode.